Welcome back, everybody, to the official MAP Technologies podcast. And yes, I am still in the cave. They will not let me out. I think it's sealed up. So yeah, I'm still broadcasting live from the shop. We're still getting it together. It's still going to be a while. So bear with me while I look so rough. So yeah. We got the troops with us. So on my screen above me is the blackest of all black people.
So, hey guys.
Exactly. Introduce yourself one time.
That was
it actually me?
Yes, that was actually me.
Oh, okay. Hey guys. I'm JB, aka Dark Horse.
Yep. And to my right would be.
Oh, it's me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't see your screen.
Yeah, that's you.
It's your boy, the Charm City champ. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And last but not least, the face that we missed last week.
It's process of elimination, John.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. Don't mind me. I'm working through a hangover.
Oh my god.
It's your boy J Infinity.
It's 3 in the afternoon, you demon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Best opening ever.
Yeah.
It's literally like 3 in the afternoon. How are you still?
You're off to a good start.
I'm curing it with beer.
You are.
That is good. That's what we're supposed to do. We're back. So last week we did our Xbox Series X rundown. So this week, and to be fair, we're doing our PlayStation 5 rundown. So both.
Yep. I got
the
the.
current.
This is proof.
Yeah.
We can. You like work with them. This is proof. We can talk about it.
I can't buy them. I'll work with them and can't buy them.
So both current gen. I mean, because these are current gen consoles now. So the new consoles are out. Current gen is out.
Yeah.
They've been out in the wild for quite some time. People have, got a week or two to play each. So we're giving our PlayStation 5 rundown, but they both been out enough to kind of get people's, heads or tails on what they want. So go ahead, Brian, as always, give us the rundown. Any redactions?
I'm glad you said that. So it's not technically a redaction, but it goes more into our main topic. So we're going to go into it in depth later. But last week I talked about how the Xbox One and now the Series XS controller have something that is very comparable to the DualSense as far as the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. But after getting my hands on with the DualSense, it definitely pales in comparison to what the DualSense offered. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay, cool.
But besides that, no other redaction.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, man. Okay. We were pretty good.
We did good.
Good streak we have going.
Yeah, no. Just do not jinx it.
All right, so what do we have next, good sir?
What are we playing?
Well, I know what I won't be playing since you guys discussed on my little Godfall parade. Godfall was a game I was looking forward to, but the consensus all around the board that it is just not a very good game. So I kind of dropped that off my list. Even though I'm not playing it, I was a little, bummed out about that. But I actually haven't been playing anything all too much. The space is kind of taking up all my time.
Just IRL Game Shop Tycoon?
Yeah. Yeah, it's real life Game Shop Tycoons. Yeah, I think I hopped on Shadowlands, but the pre-patch isn't anything to talk about in my opinion. So, unfortunately, I haven't been playing anything.
Step your game up.
Sad time.
Somebody say something.
I started Borderlands 3 finally.
Good. I got somebody to play with now.
It didn't hold me. Yeah, I gave it about 15 minutes, and I was like, nah, I'm deleting this.
Wow. Did you play any of the previous Borderlands? I think we talked about this.
Nah.
So, me personally, I feel why you're saying that. I can't play Borderlands by myself. Borderlands, my whole Borderlands experience is playing with squad. Like you got to play with multiple people.
Well, I think that's probably why, because I've been playing Call of Duty so much this year that as soon as I hopped over there, I was like, nah,
yeah,
can't play this. I need a squad to play with.
Yeah, if you're by yourself, it just feels like a grind.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And not a very fun grind at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But that's about it though. Yeah, that and Call of Duty. Oh, there's a Mrs. Oh No now.
Ooh.
Yes. I have a partner. So it makes the Call of Duty even more fun.
Yeah.
Call of Duty and chill.
That's awesome, man.
JB, what about you?
Yeah, but that's all I'm playing.
I'm sorry, I almost cut you off.
I've actually been playing a bunch of things. Last week, I started Charlie Blast Territory, which is my next N64 game.
I've never heard of that game before in my life.
No one has. It's a puzzle game. It took me like 8 hours, but I finished it.
Let me Google this.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy looking. Definitely have to add in some clips for our YouTube viewers. Yes. But I beat that, and then played some Smash. Dave Shears was over here last night. We did a 12-character battle where each person plays the whole cast, and I beat him by 22 stocks.
Good God!
Not close. And then we did another one, and it was 24. So it was like a pretty bad beating.
Okay.
Felt kind of bad for him a little bit.
Just a little.
Played a little Among Us with the guild again.
Nice.
And is that it? Might be. Tonight I'm playing Fighting Force 64.
Oh, I love that game, actually, from what I remember.
Really?
From what I remember.
The only person I talked to that played it, they're like, oh, Fighting Force? The game is awful.
Really?
Like, crap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And yesterday I installed Killer Instinct.
The new one.
The newest one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out in like 2016 or 2015 or something.
Yeah.
But I saw Jabali playing it, and I've been meaning to install it because I know it's free.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally installed it, and I was having a lot of fun with it. The game is good, and it's really easy to just pick up and play. Like even easier than Dragon Ball Fighters to just pick up and play.
And most people have been saying it. I think the problem, unfortunately, it was just the Xbox One exclusive, not the bust on the Xbox One, but that's what hurt it. Like everybody says the game is great, it's fun, easy to play, great, but it being on the Xbox One, I think kind of hurt it a little bit.
If that game had been available on PlayStation, I think it would have been a much bigger like FGC esports title.
Mm-hmm.
Even like I was playing it Xbox for PC, and I had a lot of trouble getting my PS4 controller to work with it. I had to like go find this other program that like switches the inputs, and then even then I was still having trouble with like diagonal inputs, and I had to like do more searching on the internet. I eventually got it to work, but it's like this shouldn't be this difficult. Like, yeah, the game's really good. I definitely recommend it to people.
Yeah, I can definitely concur. So for people who don't know, if you get it for free, you get the whole game, but you have to buy majority of the cast, right?
Yeah, you get like Jago and then like one rotating fighter.
Yeah,
I think every week.
Yeah.
But there's like a whole story mode in the game, so it's very playable by yourself. And like a lot of fun. The story mode is like, part arcade fighter ladder, part roguelike, part like RPG. They're like you like craft stuff and go on missions and like it's like there's a lot to it. So that was pretty cool.
So the reason I got to play it is because if you have Xbox Game Pass, you get all the fighters, and that makes it like that game is definitely fun and worth it.
I was tempted because I could have gotten Game Pass for like initial, it was like $1 a month or something. And I was like, I'll play it for free first before I spend a whole $1.
Yeah.
and then we'll see. But yeah, I mean it's great. Even like little details, like when you have the pause menu up and you scroll through the pause menu, it plays the theme song, like the notes of the Killer Instinct theme song when you move around. Like, I don't know, it's just a great game. I like it.
good game. It's just overlooked. I completely agree. Man.
But yeah,
Noise.
no WoW.
And what about you, Brian?
I'm shocked. We almost made it a whole week without mentioning WoW.
Well, I mean,
I know.
Mike said he played Shadowlands.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even log on.
I played Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Look at you.
Yeah,
Got
man.
that out perfectly.
I
Say
did.
that again.
I practiced. Cod
So
Blops. Cod Blops.
Call of Duty Lunchables, Snickerdoodle, face.
So I was I went online to try to see like what the consensus was because I love it, right? So there's a lot of weird. The critics are all over the place on this game. Like some people are singing their praise, some people are like, "This is like the worst Call of Duty ever," and I really don't see that. So I'll break it down because Call of Duty Black Ops is really like 3 separate games, right? There's the campaign.
Advance. No. It was Call of Duty. They haven't played Ghost. Call of Duty
Ghost sucked.
Yeah, Ghost.
Juice.
R.I.P. Ghost.
Ghost is not good.
Black Ops 4.
In my opinion, were not good.
That's a deep cut. But this one really it makes a lot of changes that especially to the campaign because Call of Duty campaigns have really felt one note for a very long time. So with this one, like you're not just playing as a soldier, you're kind of playing as like a deep cell secret agent, like a part of like this very black op, like literal black ops company, and you're like investigating like some stuff going on in Russia and Germany and stuff like that. But what makes this different is like there's some conversation trees in there. There's some side missions that you have to actually unlock. So you know how like you're playing single player games and you find this like paragraph of shit that they expect you to read and you never really read it. Like there's always like some paper or some file. You pick it up and you're like,
yeah.
I could get some lore, but no. But
my first playthrough of a game, I usually like read everything.
I try to.
Bless your soul, JB.
Yeah, I think like in WoW, like my first playthrough, I like read every little thing, and then every playthrough after that, just
no idea what's happening.
I'm the opposite. I'm the complete opposite. I will run through a game quick as hell, forget like what the story is, and then come back like 6 months later, like, oh, this was a good story. Like,
it'll be 100 hours into World of Warcraft, the Lich King dick is hanging out.
What game are you playing?
Mike didn't even know who the Lich King was, and that's blasphemy with WoW. Like that's like the whole like.
Isn't there a whole expansion pack named after him?
Yes.
Yeah.
The story.
Game.
And I was like, yeah, they just did this one quest on this guy.
So the reason I bring that up, right, is because there's the same thing in Black Ops Cold War, but there are side missions that you can only access if you actually break down the intel. So you find this intel and you actually have to kind of decode it to gain access to the mission, because these side missions, you have a bunch of different targets that could be who you have to go after, but you have to know who you need to go after before you start the mission. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Campaign's good.
As long as it's not Gorbachev, because that's my
I don't know yet. It might be. But I'm loving the campaign. Zombies is like the most video game I think I've ever played. And I mean, and Zombies is normally crazy, but like Zombies in Black Ops Cold War is insane. Like these loud, like arcade style dings and sound effects, these neon colored weapons. And so Zombies, you and 3 other people, you're just regular soldiers in Zombies. There's no like wacky characters like it normally is. And it's one map, but the map is huge. And you have to survive up to 20 rounds. If you survive 20 rounds, you keep all the XP or whatever weapons you unlock and stuff like that. The changes they made are you can take your loadout in the Zombies. So whatever loadout you're using in Warzone or in the Call of Duty multiplayer, you can actually use in zombies.
Yep.
And starting round 10, you can choose whether you want to stay and keep fighting or leave and take your XP. Yeah.
So you have to get to round 10?
You have to get to round 10 before you can exfil.
Okay.
Yeah, but after that, you can choose whether to stay. But once you choose to stay, you have to stay for that full next round. And it gets real crazy after round 10.
So could someone like me make it to round? Like, how difficult is it to make it to round 10?
Making it to round 10 is pretty easy as long as you have competent people playing with you.
Well, that's what you said. I mean,
So long as he has 3 other people carrying him.
Yes. The difficulty spike between 10 and 11 is insane. It's very weird. But yeah, it's very much fun, especially if you find a cool squad to play with. It, like I said, it's only one map, so I don't know how long the appeal is going to be. But
you
and
don't think it's enough variety in that map to kind of keep it.
No,
but people, gamers are just,
yeah.
After a while, they just I get it.
Let me be more specific. So when I say big, it's not like Warzone big. It's more like, if we're comparing it to Warzone, it may be like a quarter of Warzone's map.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you played the zombies
That's
before,
still pretty big.
it's pretty big. And if you played the zombies before, you have to like rank up to unlock parts of the map.
I'm not sure if this is, but did Warzone do an upgrade, or they didn't because it was just made for the last gen system?
Yeah. So there is a not to get off topic, there is a PS5 and Series X version of Warzone. It doesn't really change anything other than the graphic fidelity and the frames per second.
Okay, that's all.
Because it's cross-gen. So if you're on the Series X and PS5, you can still play with PS4 and PC and Xbox One people. Yeah, so Zombies is good. Campaign's good. Multiplayer was the biggest shock because if you played the Cold War beta, you literally played the multiplayer. Like there's no additional maps. There's no additional modes. Literally, it's just the beta. Which I liked, but I would imagine it's probably going to get stale with a lot of people, especially with Warzone being free and available. I would not leave Warzone to play this multiplayer, but I like it, right? It's just very weird because it's now in this gray area of having to compete with itself because Warzone's still available and Modern Warfare servers are still up and running, and that's really good. So if you're real deep into Modern Warfare and you're real deep into Warzone, you're probably not going to leave for Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer. But I like it.
Yeah. All right. That's what we are like. So, what is next as you unfamish yourself?
It's the news.
Hey.
It is the news. And first up is probably a really big story for JB. Hello. Shadowman is getting a remaster.
I thought that was old news.
Really?
Yeah, I could have sworn I knew about that.
Maybe it's circulated because they finally revealed screenshots.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe
Yeah.
I knew that they were working on it, but
Yeah.
it hadn't been we didn't have screenshots or anything.
Yeah, they showed screenshots early of environments. I don't think I've seen any character models yet, but the environments look really good in comparison to, obviously, Shadowman was on the Nintendo 64, so it's not going to be.
I think the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yes, on the PS1.
PS1, and then Shadowman 2 came out for PS2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was really bad.
Yeah. So, the environments look way up res. The guys who are working on it said that it's going to run at 4K. I didn't see the frame rate. And it's going to be 16:9, which is a big deal because N64 and PS1 games were 4:3. For all you people that were born before.
I mean, Smash is 15:12, but we don't have to get into it. Dude, and talk to any retro game streamer about aspect ratios.
Yeah.
It's so annoying streaming. So few things are actually a perfect 4:3.
Right.
It's so obnoxious.
Right. Yeah. So things kind of like look.
I'm really excited for Shadowman Remaster, not just to play it, but for other people to play it for like the first time.
Absolutely.
It's a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a lot of fun.
I love the tone of Shadowman. Like that was like the first real like dark game that I played, and it really nailed that.
Yeah, like a lot of the lines are pretty corny.
Yeah,
like in the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
But they do like little cutscenes before like each new zone that like really like bring into the story, and then like I mean I know you guys don't read pages that you pick up, but there's a ton of lore in the game because I mean it's a comic. Like there's a lot of lore and a lot of backstory. But yeah, the game's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty much I'm probably not as excited as you, but I'm very excited too. It's coming out. I think they said early 2021 on current gen consoles and PC. I'm sorry. I guess now it's last gen consoles and PC. It's coming on the Xbox One, the PS4, Switch, and PC.
Okay. Well, when it comes out and you get it, I'll come over and play.
Hell yeah!
I'll come over and watch you play.
I am down, man.
It's so good.
Next up, we were talking about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. They have broken a single day launch record.
Yeah, I
saw
that. I think they did it.
So here's the weird thing about it. So I was doing research on it because I wanted, obviously, if the story breaks that they broke the record, you would think the number is available somewhere, but Activision is not releasing the number.
Because they're lying. That's lying.
So Activision released a.
We know, but we're not telling.
Right? It's so childish. Activision released a press release Saturday morning saying Friday's release of Black Ops Cold War set a new record as the highest first-day digital sales worldwide in franchise history. But literally,
okay,
yeah, in franchise within the Call of Duty franchise,
specifically Black Ops. I'm saying specifically Black Ops.
Yes, specifically in the Call of Duty Black Ops franchise. This is the fastest selling Call of Duty Black Ops.
That fine line.
But I literally read through the whole press release, not one single number. So who knows what that means? But I mean, the first Black Ops sold well, right?
Who needs proof?
I guess, man. If you're competing with yourself, man, whatever.
$1 billion company's work.
What?
Companies don't lie to its consumers.
What do they need to lie about? Why would they need?
I mean, if someone says something's going to be good, you just listen to that.
Obviously.
Right? And then the next thing you know, you're playing Anthem, right, John?
Isn't it?
I had to wake him up.
Right. Yeah. Now I gotta cry in the shower tonight.
As opposed to all the places you usually do.
You know what? I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll be wanting to download Anthem because it's free now. Well, it's included in the Game Pass.
It's fun to just like it's one of those. It's like play for like 20 minutes and then just forget it. It's fun. It's just nothing to do.
There were people playing it, and it was good. We got to that end.
We got to the end.
In an hour. That's all it took was an hour to get to the end game.
So just level up, and then just roll your own credits, and pretend like it's over.
Delete the game, but you beat it.
You've done what's needed to be done. Talking about record-breaking sales. Let's talk about, I guess we can blame record-breaking sales for the reason why you can't find a Series X or S, right?
Yeah.
That's a transition.
And I love the way people that like want to kind of play the console can't get one. And I'll see some scalper with like 50. I got these things.
So.
32,000. Wasn't that one guy selling one for $32,000?
I think that was a PS5 selling for $32,000, but yeah.
That would be me. You know what? I would actually be doing a lot of people a favor by making them so outrageously overpriced because it's like it forces them to answer the question, do you really need this right now?
Right.
No, you don't. They don't always know that.
You literally just wait 2 months and you can get one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, go ahead.
That's why that transition, right? So Microsoft CFO, let me see if I can find his name, Tim Stewart. He had a press interview as we're recording yesterday, Tuesday, and he revealed that Microsoft is expecting to have these shortage issues with the Xbox Series X and Series S until after the post-holidays quarter, which I looked that up, and their post-holiday quarter ends April. So they're saying it's going to be pretty hard to get a Series X or S up until April 2021.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the same thing with the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't.
PlayStation says they're supposed to be having they're gonna have an abundance of them in January. That's what PlayStation said. Okay. Some more is gonna drop before Christmas, but definitely in January you should be able to get a PS5. That's what they're saying.
Oh, there's gonna be another drop before the holidays.
Yeah,
there's supposed to be one on Black Friday.
I got that insider information.
Yeah. I might have to pick one up. December 24th rolls around. Facebook Marketplace is looking real good.
My friend put his PS5 on Facebook Marketplace just out of curiosity, and some guy just jumped into his DMs, was like, "Hey, look, man, I will pay you $150 now, and I'll just keep paying you every month." Like, dude, no, you do not need this PS5 if this is the type of.
I'm sending the money to my royal family in another country.
Like, priorities, my man.
I can only send you the money via Western Union.
Oh no.
That's legit.
I sent you too much money. Could you please send me the change back?
Have you guys ever answered one of those?
No.
Yeah, I did. They sent me 2 checks for $6,000. But I didn't cash them though.
Yeah, they want you to
2 checks for $6,000.
They want you to cash them.
You can cash it, and then the money disappears, and then your account gets suspended, and you have to call the bank.
Yep, that's what they want. They want you to cash it and send them back what they overpaid, but there's no money there.
I traced it back to the bank, but that's another story for another time.
Ooh. Gotta do an episode on scammers.
Right.
Back to, we're still on Microsoft. So, again, they keep changing their verbiage about their deal with Bethesda and what that means to consumers and specifically people who don't own Xboxes, right? So, during that same call with CFO Tim Stewart, right, they brought up Bethesda and what does it mean as far as exclusivity. And he used the phrase, Xbox plans on Bethesda titles being first or better or best on Xbox and PC. So, which means, from what it sounds, it means that Bethesda games won't necessarily be exclusive, but they'll either be timed exclusive or there's going to be some sort of features that will be locked for Xbox or PC.
Is Melania Trump running their campaign and something?
Because they keep switching up.
Be best. We're gonna be best.
It's the verbiage is so weird. It just sounds like they don't want to say what they're probably planning, which is it's probably going to be exclusive.
Right.
Yep.
Or maybe
if you don't say you're going to do anything, then you're not locked into anything.
Basically. Right.
So just don't say anything. And then when you do something and people like it, that was your plan all along. Well, we were planning on changing it anyway. Right. Just don't say your plan.
No commitment. Just don't commit to anything.
Yeah.
That's our plan. It might be exclusive. You might be able to play Elder Scrolls 6. You might not. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Your best bet would be to get an Xbox.
Why are you talking like that? Just get an Xbox.
So, finally in the news, I changed it up. I didn't really tell y'all about this change because I do want to get y'all cold reactions, right? The video game is not gigantic. It's the video game awards, and that's it. For the time, keep your pants on. The video game awards have announced their nominees for this year's ceremony. So I was going to pick some of the bigger categories and maybe see what y'all think, who y'all think is going to win, who y'all want to win.
All right.
Right? So let's start with the big boy, the game of the year. The nominees: bestest game of the year, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, and Last of Us Part 2.
Ghost.
Say Animal Crossing.
That would be
I've played 0 of them. So I can only go off of what I've seen on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean my circle is heavily Nintendo favored.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a hard time picturing Animal Crossing being like game of the year material. I don't know anything about the Ghosts game, so I would lean towards Last of Us Part 2. It just seems like it was, a really big deal.
There's going to be so many like neckbeards pissed off if Animal Crossing wins, but honestly, I would not be mad. It made my quarantine, like it changed my year. Jumping into Animal Crossing.
And that's why I'm saying that. It came out at a time where it took up so many people's time. Because like Last of Us 2, you can kind of run through in a day or two, but Animal Crossing is something that you can, from what I gather, people are like banging like animals. Like someone was like showing up selling with the bells.
Mm-hmm. It's
it wasn't like it was a thing like, oh, Mike is people like, yo, you only want $10 for these bells. I was about to say the N word. I'm in.
There was an in-browser Flash like RPG that I played for a couple years, and I made like $2,000 selling the in-game currency. Like people buy this stuff.
I'm not going to say names because this is somebody I know, and I know Nintendo like really hates when people do this. So there's like, I think it's a Chinese website where you pay them like $5 and it's supposed to give you like the equivalent of like 2 million bells, which in game, they're like having access to that kind of money that early breaks the game. Like you can literally do whatever you want if you get 2 million bells. So they did it. And then literally like these people you don't know come to your island and they drop something off that's worth. It's so weird. They drop something off, you take that thing to the store and it's worth 2 million bells. And that's it.
That's you should just do that. Spend $5 so we have some YouTube content. That's great.
They're gonna sell for narcs in the game.
It's so weird. And it's very drug deal-esque.
Like, who is that?
I actually bought a long time ago when I didn't know like how to make like a lot. Like I couldn't figure out how to make money on WoW.
Oh, that was a long time ago. It was yesterday.
Well, I'm good now. So thanks to my awesome build, I have a good character now, and I can just run through stuff. Look at these peasants on.
Get on our shoulders.
I think a lot of us in the guild, we pay for WoW because people pay us to run them through things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they pay us with the in-game currency, but now like you can actually like someone sends you gold, you can actually turn that like legally and through Blizzard into a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It used to be a little shadier. Now it's like pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did it a long time ago. So I did it. Pay like $5 to get X amount, and the guy was just like, "Well, put something on the auction house. Tell me what it is, and I'll pay for it." And it was something like a green boot, and the guy paid like an astronomical amount of money, and then like World of Warcraft, like mailman, they were like, "Yo, those boots don't go for $4 million." Those boots sell for like $2 gold. Like, why are your boots selling?
That's great.
I never did it again.
World of Warcraft IRS.
Yeah. As far as like game of the year stuff, I haven't seen a ton of Doom Eternal,
Mhm.
I know it's like a great game and like it looks great and the soundtrack is really good.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you like metal, like it's a great soundtrack.
Mhm.
I don't know about game of the year.
I've heard good things about Doom Eternal, but I wouldn't pick game of the year. But I wouldn't be surprised if I've heard crazier stuff happen. So
Yeah.
So did they give the answers already, or you're just
No, the show comes on.
Nominees, I think.
Yeah, the show comes on in December. But these are just the nominees, and it's people's choice. So you log on and people vote, and then based on the tallies, that's who. I think no. I think the people they count for a certain amount of votes, but it's like the Academy Awards where it's actually the developers. They also are judges as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty much with y'all. I think Animal Crossing would be like a shocker, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm leaning towards like Last of Us Part 2. That's probably the gimme. Let's.
I actually went to the New York Game Awards a couple years ago. Our like gaming department at the company I was working for got a couple invites. That was pretty fun.
I didn't know that
was when like God of War 4,
mm-hmm.
or God of War, whatever it was called. That was in that one.
Cool. Best story, best narrative. 13 Sentinels is. I've never played it. I've heard about it vaguely because it's made by Atlas, the people who make Persona. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and Last of Us Part 2.
I'm just gonna go with Last of Us Part 2 because it's the only one I know.
It seems like. I mean, is it really fair to give Final Fantasy VII Remake best story?
That was my thing too.
Is it that different?
Yes and no, because the theory is that the remake is actually they think that Sephiroth or maybe Aerith actually manipulated time, so this is a different timeline.
Oh,
so the story kind of where the remake ends is when they leave Midgar and everything's different now. Like it's the events that unfolded in the original game. It happens a different way in this game. So
right,
and it's kind of like
yeah. I read about that because I've never beat the original Final Fantasy VII. So I read that Sephiroth doesn't pop up as early as he does in the remake, but they had to move that up because if they didn't, he would have never been. Oop, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, if that is a
names, and I was like, I've never played the game.
Well, Sephiroth is like the big bad. You've probably seen him before, yeah. But they had to move him up.
Yeah, to add to that too, I forgot. You actually fight one of the end bosses. The end bosses are actually like fate and destiny and time or something like that. So you actually end up fighting against that because you're changing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so it's fair to be on the list.
Yeah. For those of you like Ghost fans, I didn't play Ghost. So you played Ghost, John? I didn't play Ghost. So I didn't.
Like a half hour.
I'm going to play it because I heard it plays better on the PS5, so I am going to jump into it. But yeah, I skipped it because I don't know. I don't know why I didn't get it because it's right up my alley too.
Yeah. It's what was the PS1 game? Bushido Blade.
Oh no, it's like that.
If you remember Bushido Blade, yeah. So you actually have to like you're actually doing real like samurai moves.
Don't tell me that because that's my jam.
If you hit somebody in the wrong place, your sword is going to bounce off their armor or bounce off their sword. Or something like that. So, yeah.
But I think
it's a good game. Good story too.
I think the gimme is going to be Last of Us Part 2 for that, probably too. I know a lot of people complain that there's like some plot holes in Last of Us, but I think that story was just brilliant. I think it was very well told. I think they did took some risk with that story without giving off spoilers to this like 6-month-old game. But
yeah, it just seems like that was what I was seeing the most about the game is like about the story, and it seems like that's a really important part of the game. It just seemed like it's probably going to be up there. Also, Hades.
Yeah.
Did that game like just come out?
So it's been in early access on PC earlier this year, but it just officially like the 1.0 finally came out like maybe a month or two ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect like a crazy story from it, but I guess it's good.
Especially for a game that's a roguelike, where like it's procedurally generated. But yeah, apparently there's a lot of fan art out there for the characters in Hades. So a lot of people out there like them. But yeah, apparently. But let's see.
This game looks cool. I might actually.
Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. It's made by the people who made Transistor, if you heard of that, and Bastion. They always make those like isometric action RPGs. But I think this is the first. Yeah, it's the first roguelike. Let's do best ongoing. So like the best game as a service, for lack of a better term. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, or No Man's Sky. I guess it's not game as a service, but that's a good one. That's a good category.
Yeah, take that. Wow.
So they
qualify for that?
They describe best ongoing as awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not wow.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
I would have to go with No Man's Sky. I have to go with No Man's Sky.
I like that actually. No Man's Sky really turned it around. Like that game was crap when it came out. What 2017, 16?
I believe so. Hold on, let me look it up.
And yeah, they came back and added VR and changed the way the procedural generation works and upped the graphics and added real multiplayer. That really truly is.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's anything that defines ongoing, it's definitely No Man's Sky.
But I would say Fortnite would be a close second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Fortnite wins it. I wouldn't be shocked if Warzone wins it because they got a really big fan base. And
Apex is pretty huge still.
I was about to say that.
Apex.
I fell off of Apex.
This one's a toss up.
Yeah, it really could be anybody. Even Destiny 2, like that's a big one too. That like it wasn't that good when it first came out, but through all these expansion packs and updates,
I feel like that's probably the least likely to win.
Yeah. How about? I'm not going to do that one because a lot y'all probably don't know. How about best? I'm gonna do the last one. Yes, I'm trying to pick one that we probably all know. This is all right. This is a dumb category. Best mobile, right? I know we're not big mobile gamers, but we are familiar with all these games. Among Us.
Among Us.
Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra. I don't know what that is. Or Pokemon Cafe Mix.
It's definitely between Among Us, Genshin Impact, and Runeterra for sure.
There's another Pokemon. Hold up.
Pokemon Cafe Mix. It's a free to play game. I played it on the Switch, and it's. I don't like it.
I would not be the least bit surprised if Genshin Impact wins this.
Yeah, I noticed that's got a big following, right?
Yeah. Legend of Runeterra is pretty freaking popular as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Genshin would probably take it.
So Pokemon Cafe Mix is really like it's just one of those dumb like 3 in a row match puzzle games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just super easy for the first couple of levels, and then it gets hard on purpose. It's one of those microtransaction-y puzzle games. It gets hard on purpose. They want you to pay to win. Yuck. It's really not worth it. But yeah, I'm with you. I would not be shocked if Genshin Impact wins just off of the fan support. But besides that, I think it goes to Among Us.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going off like pure like in the moment popularity, I mean Among Us is pretty huge. But if you're looking at like really like the best game like as a whole,
right?
The Genshin is just
it's shocking what they did on cell phones with that game.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Among Us is great
for sure. But that's that, man. Obviously, there are more nominees. If you want to go vote, Google freaking Video Game Awards. I'm not going to give you the link. We don't work for them.
I need to go and look.
Click on the link below.
But
I need to go look at like the nominees for best music, like best soundtrack, and just go check those out. That's usually a go-to for me.
Oh, I can tell you that real quick. I wish I didn't close my browser window. That's actually that's a pretty tight one too.
Because I think what the award show I went to, that was when Tetris Effect was like winning everything for like visual music and that kind of stuff.
That soundtrack is so good, and it's like so chill. I love that game. While I'm pulling this up,
that was right around like lo-fi started getting a lot bigger.
Oh, that makes big sense. While I'm pulling this up, do y'all like take the Game Awards seriously? Like, do you think they hold the same weight as like maybe like an Oscars or like?
I don't think. I think they hold the same weight.
Yeah. So you don't give a shit about any of them.
Because you have instances, like was it Bryan Cranston didn't win Best Actor for season 4 of Breaking Bad.
Right.
That's freaking travesty.
Right.
Like,
well, yeah.
Like you're not. It's not like you're polling like millions of people. It's like if this very specific group of people thinks one way, then that's just what's going to happen. So you can't like give it too much credit because it's they're not polling millions of people that have experienced the games. It's a small group of people.
Like, do you think if you're a game developer and like you get robbed of a game award, do you really think you're going to be like, my life is over? Yeah.
No. But you'll be annoyed.
Yeah.
Because that's like, that's big, especially if you are looking to move, like change jobs or work with another publisher or something like that. Like, like having that like credential is that accolade is nice. I'd be like asking, asking an athlete. It's like, well, you played in the Super Bowl. Did you really need to win it? Like, is it that big of a deal?
So,
like, yeah, dude.
So
I was the water boy.
Why I say that is like, let's say like the Grammys, for instance. There are artists out there that are like, they don't really care about the Grammys. I don't do this for Grammys. I do this because I love the art. And blah blah blah.
There's no way that they don't care at all. There are degrees of caring, but there's no way that they don't care at all.
Yeah.
Also, too, you bring up the Grammys. One thing that people don't realize is the Grammys is an organization, and you have to be a member of that organization to even get nominated. You can't. Yeah. They can't nominate you if you're not. So.
And you have to pay.
Want to throw it out there.
You have to pay to nominate.
I'm a Grammy member. That's wwhy. Snuck that in there.
I'm pretty sure the video game awards are the same way. You probably do have to pay.
In the description below.
Check my mixtape, son. So, best score in music: Doom Eternal, obviously. Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously. Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which is a sleeper. That has some really good music.
It's really good.
Yeah.
That's probably up for best indie game.
I could pull those up too. And the final one is Last of Us Part 2. Yeah. Which it does have good music, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's there are different like types of soundtracks.
Yes.
And that one is a lot more like maybe like ambient.
Yes.
I don't know if that's, but like it's different.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's not something like I'm jamming in the car, but it makes sense for the scenarios that they're going for. But yeah, best indie. We got.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. Give me 5 minutes. I hate to do it, but
no, man. Sure, just go do your thing. We're handling it. Best indie is Carrion. That's that Devolver game where you play as the alien and you get to eat up everybody. Right. Fall Guys, which I would not be shocked. Hades, Spelunky 2, and actually no Ori.
No, wow.
Spiritfarer.
Wow, shafted.
Yeah, man. So Ori,
that's rough. Because I'm assuming they qualify as indie.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, that's tough because I definitely would have expected them to be in there. The other ones all make sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Surprise! Among Us isn't in there.
I wonder if there's some sort of weird cutoff because Among Us was not made this year. Right?
Right, but they still are up for other awards.
I wonder if it was up for mobile because maybe it recently got ported to mobile.
Maybe.
Yeah, because that's the only thing it's up for.
Okay.
So maybe it recently got ported to mobile.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that's the Game Awards, man. And that sucks, man, because Mike's about to miss like his most favorite part of the show.
He just likes yelling.
All right. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's the ad break. But anyway, y'all. So it costs a lot of money and stuff to do things like podcasts and stream and open up video game stores and arcades and things like that. So part of the reason we're able to operate is because of supporters like you. And you can become a supporter on patreon.com/MAPGameTech. For as little as $3 a month, you can get you can get behind the scenes access. You can get exclusive discounts to MAPGameTech.com, where you can buy retro games and consoles and pay to get your stuff repaired. You can also get access to exclusive streams and stuff, right? Yeah, guys? Yeah, man.
Hey, you can buy John more beer.
Don't do that. Money does not go to beer. The money doesn't go to beer.
It goes to Nintendo console.
It goes absolutely to N64s.
You can't see right behind me. I've got like a whole bunch of stuff that I'm selling. You guys are trying to buy, like, get out of the way here.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of controllers in. You guys are looking for that.
So please, guys, we need your help. We promise we're not money laundering so we can buy beer. Patreon.com.
Real talk though, if you want to buy some controllers.
Patreon.com/MAPGameTech. $3 a month. Check it out, man. And it's that break.
Put them in like a trench coat.
What?
Controllers hanging out.
Got 'em.
What are you buying?
Beer if you got it.
From Japan. They actually are. I've gotten like probably 30 of them in the last month from Japan, and they're all like pristine.
Really?
Yeah, it's great. I just found a seller that had good stuff, and I was just like, yo, just give it to me.
That is how.
Trench coats?
Oh yeah.
I mean, how hard is it to keep a N64 controller like unopened, unwrapped? Or,
the joysticks deteriorate pretty quickly with like heavy use.
Yeah.
Because of the plastic on plastic grinding.
Mm-hmm.
So finding really good ones over here is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But I've like the vast majority of the like very, very top quality ones I've got were from Japan. You just have a lot of them.
Nice. So on to our main topic. It feels so weird without Mike, man. So on to our main topic. That is such a weird. What is happening with that? To all you audio listeners, it's just like a screaming stick figure in place of
one arm.
With one arm.
with one arm and one leg coming out from his other leg. It really doesn't make any sense.
Graphic design extraordinaire.
Yes. I'm working on it. Taking classes.
So our main topic, the other current gen console, the PS5, dropped last week. We really did. Fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. We didn't want to rush to talk about it without having some extensive hands-on with it. I have one personally. John, you've been working with one with your day job. We're gonna until they So we're gonna break that down. So starting with the size and design of the console itself. I don't know about y'all, but this thing is like distractingly big.
I mean, heard it before.
it's white and there's actually distractingly big. So you probably
just another day.
So I can't pull the console out because it's plugged in, but from the friggin', it literally it is like weight wise, it's probably like 10 pounds. But just imagine, like it fit. There was no room in this box. This box is just big enough to fit the PS5. This thing is huge compared to my head. It's pretty.
The whole like, but does it just cover your whole head? Yeah. The whole banana peel design, I don't get it. I like that I like the white that's new. Right?
Yeah.
Like, consoles have just been like flat or gloss black for, I mean, pretty much since PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Except for like the Wii.
Yep.
But I mean, it looks good. If instead of doing this stupid banana peel thing, if they just kept like straight lines, I probably would have liked it more. But I'm boring. I like straight lines and hard angles and stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally get it, and definitely like in my setup, it definitely stands out, and not necessarily in a good way. It looks like. Do you remember that Simpsons episode? I don't think I brought this up before. You know that Simpsons episode where Homer Simpson was hired to design a car, and it looked all. This is what it looks like. It looks like they just hired somebody that knows nothing about consoles, and they were like, make something that looked futuristic, and they just drew all these swirls and.
Yeah, it's like they just took like an old PlayStation, and the guy was like watching Men in Black and saw those big white chairs, and was just like, I got it. I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, and like for those people that like to have their console as like a focus point of their their entertainment setup, like now like it's not gonna match anything. All the like shelving and TVs and all whatever DVD player, whatever the hell you have, it's all black. And now you have this console that really sticks out and probably doesn't match like anything.
And
if that's something you care about, like.
They were saying the reason for the size of the console is the big ass fan that's in
there. Yeah, and I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. Like the Xbox is a chunky boy too, but it's definitely not as big as that PS5. Which
PC people are like, it's not that
big. Exactly. Like, I mean, I don't know. If I stood it up, it might be just as tall as a PC tower.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some of like a Baltimore City Public Schools PC tower. There's like those bells that are like this wide.
And it has LED lights too, and they're bright.
Oh, nice.
Like if I had no lights on and powered this PS5 up, I would literally be blue tint. It's that bright. It's pretty bright.
That bright.
Yeah, man.
I'm assuming you can't diffuse them at all. Like there's.
I don't think so.
Turn down the lights. That's a miss.
Yeah.
So not only is your significant other going to be pissed when you get up in the middle of the night and turn it on, and they hear the beat, they hear the PS5 sound. There's going to be this blue hue going through the hallway into the bedroom.
Yep.
So they're definitely going to know you're up.
Divorce rates are going to skyrocket because of Sony.
So she wakes up and sees blue, and it's like game over. Like, goddamn.
So I don't want to like let's move on because I don't want people to like listen to this and be like, these guys obviously hate Sony. Like that's not it. But obviously not with you. But to be honest, like this is a dumb design. But I'm sure like over time, like I'm gonna get numb to it. But it's dumb. Ease of setup is what I got up next. And last week I was pretty much really harping on how the Series X was very easy to set up thanks to the Xbox app. You just pulled it up, put in a code, just like you were like signing into a streaming service, and it literally automatically downloaded all your stuff. The PS5 was very similar. So you boot up the PS5. It's not a code. They put up a QR code on the screen. You download the PS app. You take a picture of the QR code, and then it literally get your gamer tag, download your stuff. Doesn't automatically download your save files, which I'm going to go to next. The only way to get the save files in games, well, not the only way. The only way if you're not a PlayStation Plus member is to keep your PS4, plug your PS4 to the PS5 via LAN cable, and then it will transfer the stuff, which is weird because majority of people, at least me, I sold my PS4 to buy my PS5, right? So I don't think so. I mean, like, I'm not like.
No, I mean that's fair. I'm sure a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Like you can offset the cost a decent amount.
Absolutely. I had a PS4 Pro. I made like $200.
I might have held on to it until it was closer to Christmas.
You are evil.
Prime selling time. You gotta know the market.
I just strip part time.
Whatever works.
So, like I was mentioning earlier, you have an easier process if you are a PlayStation Plus member because you can just upload your save files to the cloud. But it's not as easy as Xbox because Xbox automatically backs your saves up in the cloud, whereas PS Plus, you have to manually pick what games you want to put in the cloud. And I just thought that was weird. And I don't think a lot of people are going to know that instinctively. So that's very weird. But besides that, I did have an easy time. I just used the app, signed on, grabbed my saves from the cloud, downloaded all my games, and immediately started playing. Yeah.
Nice.
John, do you know a lot about the user interface?
That's pretty much all I've been really able to do because they don't have any games on there. But it's way better than the PS4's user interface. Some people might get upset because some things are missing, like a browser. I don't know. People making a big deal. There's no web browser with this interface, but I don't really recall unless you clicked on something and Sony made you go to the web. I've never used the browser on the PS4, so
I agree.
I was fine without it. But it makes things a lot easier, a lot simpler. Like for instance, your games don't disappear. Like every time I boot up my PS4, it's like, all right, where's Apex? Where Apex Legends? Because if you don't play it, it goes away. But the user interface it's smooth. It's very responsive now. I like it. I don't have a problem.
My games only disappear if I forget what box I put them in.
Where's it? Oh, there it is. It's on my shelf where I keep my games.
Like the Smash Bros.
Oh, kaboom.
That one's never not gonna hurt.
That was for earlier. Bang, bang, bang.
That's attacking me personally, as opposed to just a game being bad.
I take that. Anthem.
Did you work on it? Did you make that game?
I was talking so much shit about Anthem before it came out.
And you were right.
It's crazy. And then Anthem happened.
Damn.
But yeah, interface is cool. It's cool. Like
I second it. It's a big improvement from the PS4. The PS4, it was very hard to, like you said, find games that you normally like to play because it would be random that your list of games were reset and it would just turn in alphabetical order, and that was just weird. And the PS4s was like very slow and buggy. The store when you tried to go to it just sometimes wouldn't even launch.
Right.
But the PS5s is way faster. Store launch as well. It's very easy to find games. It's very easy to find games that you have maybe installed and deleted, so you can easily reinstall them. That changed a lot. One very minor thing that I might be embarrassed to admit, I did not know instinctively how to turn it off. So with the PS4,
I get it. Sometimes you just can't find the button. You
know? So on the physical console itself, that was a complaint with the PS4 because on the PS4 there aren't buttons on the console. It was like little areas, and they weren't clearly marked. You had to like know where they were. So on
they were like soft like soft keys?
Yes. So that was very dumb. But on the PS5 there are buttons, but the buttons aren't labeled well. So so you have to memorize which one is eject and which one is power. And 50-50, I always get it wrong.
50-50, get it wrong twice.
Exactly.
It's like USBs.
Exactly. It's always wrong the first time. So I normally, on the PS4, you could just hold the PS button and turn it off that way, which was easy for me.
So I'm going to... They are labeled.
No, so they are labeled. Go ahead.
Just not
And
well.
the power button has the universal power symbol.
No, yeah. Don't make me bring my console over here.
After you get blinded by the LED light on, it's in the power button and you just can't see.
Is it? So you can't see it. But so the power button, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Where it's the same color as the background.
Right.
It's subdued. Right? So it is a symbol there, but it's black, just like the thing that it's on. So you literally stop making it hard.
It's just like raised up.
Yeah.
It's very tactile.
Yeah. So through experimenting, I found out that if you tap the PS button and pull up that little crossbar, that's how you can navigate to turning it off. But I did not know that instinctively. But that was a little annoying. It sucks you can't customize the theme anymore.
Yes.
The background is just highlights whatever you are on at the time. So if you're hovering over the game, the background turns into whatever game you're hovering over. You can no longer. I'm sure that probably will change over time, but you can't change the background.
It'll come with an update.
Yeah. The cool thing they added to the UI is that you can also do picture in picture. So if a friend is streaming directly from their PlayStation, I can pull their stream up and have it in the corner while I'm still doing something else. I don't know if I'm ever going to do that. So it's cool that it's there. I don't know. I would have much rather, with whatever effort they put into doing that, I would rather have something equivalent to Xbox's Quick Resume, because that's absent. Anything that's like that. So when you close a game, it's literally closed. Whereas on Xbox and obviously on PC, you can have games running in the background and you can jump between them whenever. Blah blah blah. Blah. That's a little annoying, but I do like the improvements.
Cool.
Yeah.
JB, you have any?
He's like, keyboard and mouse. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
So, have I ever showed you guys what mouse I use?
No, man. I'm curious. Oh, that's old school.
It's the one where you use.
Yeah.
So
I had one of those.
We had one same style. Not a thumb trackball, but the same style.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in middle school, and I got so used to it that when that one stopped working, went to get a new one. I was in 10th grade, so this was 2001 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Best Buy.
Yeah.
And this was the mouse I got. And I've had it and used it for everything and every game I've played since then.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yep. This is the only mouse I use. I can use a regular one, no problem. It's pretty easy. But yeah, this is what I use.
Nice.
You play first person shooters with that?
I'm not big into shooters, so I haven't played a ton.
Cool.
But
all right, that's
played Borderlands. When there was a free version of Modern Warfare 2 that I was able to torrent on PC back in 2011 or 12, and I played some of that. But I'm sure if I was getting really into it and trying to play at a high level, I would probably use a different mouse. But I like it.
Man, you get that spin right, you be 360 no scoping fools.
Right.
Right.
The issue comes. What becomes the issue is that since I'm using like two and sometimes 3 fingers to move the mouse. I'm limited to my thumb and my pinky for buttons. I like playing WoW. I'll use pinky, ring finger, and thumb for buttons. But index and middle are always moving the mouse. So you don't have as many options using this kind of a mouse as far as like what buttons you can press. So I get that.
Sorry, important text I had to respond to. So glad we kind of talked about keyboard and mouse. So let's jump to the controller.
Nice.
I'm like 2 for 2 with segues. So I got so audio listeners, you're kind of going to
dude. I have a blue one too.
Noise, yeah, man. There's my blue.
It was the cheapest one on Amazon. That was why I got it. I don't care what this thing looks like.
I'm kind of the same way. I bought this blue one used. I just kept it because it matches the color scheme, sort of the PlayStation. I had this one, a black one, and a silver one. And I sold the other 2, and I kept this one because you can still use DualShock 4 controllers with the PS5 if you're playing a PS4 game. So this doesn't work on a PS5 game. It'll curse at you if you try to do that. So for audio,
I only have it for fighting games on PC.
Yeah, so I really fighting games. I did prefer the PS4 controller over the Xbox controller because the D-pad is a little better. Even though now the Xbox is probably a little better because it's all one thing outside of just being separate buttons now.
I like the separate buttons.
Yeah.
Despite like growing up using Super Nintendo D-pad, like I really like that D-pad, and that's what I grew up with playing fighting games.
Yeah.
I've gotten really used to the PlayStation style D-pad. I kind of like it because you don't get as many like accidental inputs when you're going for diagonals.
That makes sense.
You don't get as many like accidental down or up inputs because you have to physically hit both buttons at the same time for it to happen.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some like pros that like professionals that disagree with me, but
yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
I'm sure Street Fighter people.
Yeah, I mean, well, there just aren't that many like top level players that use pad.
Yeah.
And the ones that do, I don't know if they use the sticks or if they use the D-pad.
Oh.
Like Punk and Sonic Fox, I would imagine they use the D-pad, but I don't actually know 100%.
That makes sense. But
yeah.
DualSense and the DualShock. Side by side, you can see the DualSense is a little more chunky than the PS4 controller. And it has a little more weight to it slightly, but I actually like that. I like my controller to not feel like a toy, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. No, that's the OG chunky boy.
Actually, now that I think about it, PS4 controller's heavier than N64.
Yeah, I would say so. I need to hold it.
Put the rumble pack on this thing? Different story. Yeah, just like lifting them both. I didn't realize that PS4 controllers definitely feel heavier.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the DualSense got way more weight to it. It's actually considerably. I should have brought a Xbox One controller over here, but I don't feel like getting up. But it's comparable size-wise and dimension-wise to an Xbox One controller, which is a good thing. I really like the Xbox One controller. It fits in my hands almost perfectly. And the same with this one now.
This guy.
That's
the biggest Dreamcast controller ever.
The Dreamcast controller was ridiculous.
Xbox was like, great idea.
I was about to say that. Great idea. On top of that, let's put a black and white button somewhere nobody naturally puts their thumb. So, I'm really liking it. It's very evenly weighted. The grips are textured just like the new Xbox One controller, and I really like that. You get a grip onto that. But the star of the show, obviously, is the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback of the vibration. It really feels good when a game uses it. So the game that uses it the most, and I'm not going to go into detail until we talk about the games, which is next, is Astrobot's Playroom. That's the game that's bundled with the PS5. It's pre-installed on it. It's a platformer, and I'll get into it later. But that's the game that uses the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback the most out of the launch titles that I played. Everything else kind of uses it. Demon's Souls kind of uses it. Spider-Man, I didn't really notice a difference. So that kind of concerns me as far as a year from now, is only Sony first-party games going to be the people using these things? Do y'all expect third-party people to really dive into the DualSense and the haptic trigger?
I can see some probably will.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not as extensive as the larger developers,
Mm-hmm.
but I can see them using it just a little bit, not a whole lot.
Because from my experience, and this might be a big reach, but when a system does something really unique with their controller that's normally like the dagger in their own back, like the Wii U, they really lost a lot of third-party support. All right, that's a shitty comparison, but the Wii U lost a lot of their third-party support because nobody wanted to design for that controller, or the memory cards for the Dreamcast. Nobody really wanted to do anything with that.
That thing is just ridiculous.
It is.
I liked it. I liked it though.
Yeah.
What they were trying to go for, they was just ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Dreamcast, like Sega, was just way too ambitious.
Yeah.
Like, they did so much cool stuff that just like went over people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So yeah, only time will tell.
Question about the PS5 controller.
Mm-hmm.
So this might just be me and like how I hold the controller and everything. Mm-hmm. When I hold the PS4 controller, the little ridges that are right by the buttons,
mm-hmm.
my middle fingers will like kind of rub up against them sometimes. I don't know if it's just me and the size of my hands and how I hold the controller.
Yeah.
Do your hands fit more comfortably around the back of the PS5 controller? Because you said it's bigger.
Think so. Yeah, this is how I'm naturally holding it. So so I'm not like up here anymore. I do know what you're saying, because that is where the size increase came. Is actually like the height.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, because that's like probably my only complaint about using the DualShock 4
mm-hmm.
is that if I'm playing for like a long time, like I guess my fingers just move like just enough that rubbing back and forth will start to like really bother.
Absolutely. No, I understand. Yeah, I understand completely. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have that problem. You're gonna have to hold it yourself to probably see, because you probably do hold it a little different than me. But
yeah,
the size difference is definitely in the height. So I would imagine that would change where your fingers are resting.
Nice. Yeah, I wonder like what kind of model they use for designing a controller. Because you're making it's like they have to make it like one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a lot that goes into it with how different people hold it, with all different hand sizes and things like that.
That's a good point. Like, so when we were kids, we would like to believe that video game consoles were marketed towards kids, right? So they had to like have that was their primary target audience. But I would imagine now, are kids still the primary target audience for video games?
I
don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you define kid as under 18, then probably.
Yeah.
Especially now, because you have. Well, see, now you have so many parents that are also playing
exactly
with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that plays into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's. I know I'm going to sound really biased, but all the different controllers, the one that like fits my hands the best is the freaking N64 controller.
I'm not mad at that.
It just like the way the controller like curves and everything in the back, it fits everything like perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad it's that one. Like if I could pick a controller, I'm glad it happened to be that one.
Yeah. Which is probably why you gravitate to the PlayStation controller, because it has those like this grip,
those ridges there.
Yep.
Yeah, it just feels better.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess the the Pro controller. I'm just going through all my controllers.
Yeah.
So like I had like a third party 64 controller that Hyperkin sent
Oh, okay.
And one of my biggest complaints about the just the shell of the controller is that my fingers, there's like a little bit of space back here.
Yeah.
If like I'm resting naturally, but I think someone with like a lot like much bigger hands than me, it would actually fit them because of the way it's shaped and everything. So it's like all these controllers, it like these tiny differences change a lot just depending on like how big your hands are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's got to be so hard to design a controller.
Yeah. So, Mike, what we were just talking about was controller sizes, because it's hard to design. Video games have to consider like the 30-year-old that's playing video games, or the 8-year-old that's playing Sackboy's Big Adventure, or you know. So who do you think the video game designers designed their controllers with in mind? Like Nintendo controllers, the Joy-Cons are obviously designed for baby hands.
Right. Yeah. I think on average controllers are designed for people in their 20s.
Yeah, I would think so.
I would assume that younger crowd, if it's a little bit of inconsistency, they can adjust. Their hands haven't been through the gambit. Mine have.
Get your blisters up. Get your blisters up, kids.
Yeah, it's just easier. Of course, I gained a lot when I was younger, and I just remember just conforming to any joystick. I would hop on my PlayStation. Game didn't matter, but now, in my older years, matter. Turn my nose that I didn't mind playing younger.
I don't know what's happening, but your audio is going in and out.
Yeah, you might just not be close enough.
Can you hear me now?
Actually, the quality got so much better.
Yeah, could you just like put your phone in your mouth?
Who would have thought? Mike will be like nowhere near the mic. Like, can you guys hear me?
So you came back actually just in time, because we're getting to the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about, the games.
I am ready for the meat and the potato.
Vov, I hope you did not eat. I hope you're hungry. So for all you new listeners out there, we're not going to talk about a lot of the cross-console and third-party stuff, because we talked about that last week with the Xbox Series X. And outside of how they affect the DualSense controller, they're the same game. So we're not going to go over. You're not going to hear about your Assassin's Creeds or your Watch Dogs or stuff like that. If you want to hear about that, find our Xbox Series X breakdown either on Apple or Spotify or on YouTube, youtube.com/MAP Technologies, baby.
Yeah.
But this week we're going to talk about those PS5 exclusives.
He wasn't here for the ad break, so he needed to get it.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I can't believe you guys did it with me. Why wouldn't you put this whole podcast on for the whole hour that I was gone?
I really cried. They will confess, I really did like shed a little tear. I was like, man, this does not feel the same.
The guy was talking. I was like, yes, need it. How much? Come on.
It's the ad break. Could you come on? So let's start with probably John's most anticipated game. I think is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Halo, his head would just blow up.
You got any input on Spider-Man Miles Morales?
The game. So I didn't buy it on PS5, but I got it on PS4.
Okay.
But I played it in store. I haven't played it at home yet. Let's just say that.
Okay.
But it plays just like the first Spider-Man game. But they did a really good job of making it Miles.
Yes.
Meaning
urban.
It's so when you jump in, it's not just Miles slapped on, Spider-Man's body. It looks and feels like Miles. Of course, it's in the same city, New York. But everything else is just unique and specific to Miles. It's a great game. If you like the first one, this one is you jump right in for the combat and everything. A lot of things have changed because Miles does have powers that Peter doesn't. Most notably, he can turn invisible, which you can do for a limited amount of time. So if you wanted to play the game in a stealth way and not just run up and beat up everybody, you can turn invisible and just play stealth through the whole game. And then he also has his spider sting, or the venom sting, I should say. He has that ability as well too. But the game's pretty cool.
Black power and white power joke in there somewhere.
Oh my god!
I haven't got. I played like 20 minutes. I played like 20 minutes of it, so I haven't really gotten deep into the story. Even though I have read what the ending is, all that stuff. So, which, the ending of Miles Morales has me really anticipating the next Spider-Man game, because I think that's going to be a culmination of being able to play with Miles and Peter, and surprisingly, maybe someone else, but I'm not going to spoil that.
Spider-Gwen.
Ooh, that would be dope, actually. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much when we agree a lot on what you're saying. I love Spider-Man Miles Morales a lot. When people were talking about this and things started revealing that this is not going to be the same length experience as Spider-Man, I was starting to think, is it just a reskin? Are they just, trying to hurry up and rush another title out? Or is it just going to be kind of standalone expansion? But this does feel like its own game. Like the changes that they made, the way Miles swings, and he's really... So GameSpot has been catching a lot of flack because you know what I'm about to refer to.
Yeah, that article.
Yeah, so the guy at GameSpot who reviewed Miles Morales, who is a black guy, so it's very weird that this phrase came out of his mouth. It was like, he said something like, Miles Morales swings with the swagger of, like, it was a weird phrasing for saying, like, this is the most blackety black game I've ever played. But to phrase it better, to phrase it better, it does. You get that feel that Miles Morales lives in like this different New York than a Peter Parker lives in. Like there's cutscenes where he's going to bodegas and like helping out the store owners. He's like he's cooking Christmas dinner with his Puerto Rican mom. It's very much, there's costumes where he's wearing like Tim's and Adidas show toes. It's very much, they leaned into who Miles Morales really is, which is a half black, half Hispanic New Yorker. And it feels a lot like
all I know is you can get a cat.
And you can get a spider cat.
I've just seen the cat.
So the cat is cool. So it is a main story mission where you gotta save the cat whose name is Spider-Man. So it's a funny joke where the bodega guy named his cat Spider-Man after Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
Peter Parker.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people who don't like Miles Morales' Spider-Man. He's like, bring the old Spider-Man back. Get your skinny ass out of here.
They think he's like a copycat.
Yeah. So, yeah, after you save Spider-Man the cat, you can pay to, not with real money, with like in-game stuff that you earn. You can pay to get this stuff where Spider-Man cat is always in your backpack. And when you do attacks, he actually does come out with a Spider-Man mask and do the attack with you. It is so weird.
I didn't see that part. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So also talking about suits, it's a lot of suits. Just like the first one had like 20 or some odd suits. Same amount of suits. A lot of homages to specifically Miles Morales' Spider-Man. You can get the exact suit from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is cool because if you put it on, it actually does the frame rate trick that the movie does. You know how like they skip a few frames when he's moving really fast to kind of lean into him moving fast. So I played with that for a little while. It is a little jarring seeing it in the game because he is the only person in the game that has that frame rate effect, whereas the enemies are still moving regularly, so it looks weird. But it's cool. It's cool that that's there. But long story short, it's a very good game. It's not even full price. It's definitely worth it.
Cool.
I give it 2 thumbs up. I don't know if we have a rating system. Do we have a rating system?
We never had one.
I give it 8 mics.
You don't wish you had another hand? How many Chappelle Show references can we get there?
Yes. Next up is a game I like to play because I hate myself, Demon's Souls.
Yes, you do hate yourself. It is a very good game. It's a game that's a game that I enjoy. People who know how to play, I like to watch them play because I am just so when I
it sucks at everything.
I didn't know that game was meant to be that hard. I am getting like pummeled, and I just cannot understand. I am befuddled. Like I know I suck, but god damn, this is deplorable. He was like, "Yeah, you're supposed like the game is made hard." That doesn't stop the ass hurt, but thanks. But yeah, that's definitely a game that I enjoy people, watching. I watch.
Yeah, so I enjoy From Software games like that. I didn't get into them until Bloodborne. That was my first one, which is probably not a good introduction because, well, no, I think it is because a lot of the Soulsborne people that I know, they say that Bloodborne is the easier one.
Yeah.
It is a little more forgiving, I would say. It's easier to get your souls back, I think, in Bloodborne than it is in the other games. Then from there, I went into Sekiro, which a lot of people say is the hardest of all the that's what people say. It is the hardest of all the Soulsborne games, which is weird because that's the one I played closest to completion. I made it all the way to the final boss and could not beat the final boss and gave up. Like, so I played it all the way to Sekiro's final boss, which is like this lightning wielding samurai dude. And then I killed him, finally. 20 or some odd tries, killed him. This motherfucker came back to life and could, and could fly.
The life bar changed color.
Yes.
It got longer. Like, what the
and I was like, off. Eject. Almost did it. But so Demon's Souls, and this is just my opinion. I think a lot of people who have played it and played a lot of the PS5 games could agree. This is probably the most beautiful PS5 game right now. Like, this game is gorgeous. Blue Point, who Sony has hired to remake a lot of their games. Blue Point remade Shadow of the Colossus for the PS4. They remade this game, and it obviously compared to the PS3 version, it was going to look better. But this game really, when you want that game that's warrants the purchase of a PS5, it is Demon's Souls. Okay. Native 4K, a locked 60 frames per second if you pick performance mode. There's a performance mode and a fidelity mode. The fidelity mode keeps it locked at 4K, but fluctuates the frame rate. The performance mode keeps it locked at 60 and has a dynamic 4K, which means it'll be 4K sometimes. When it's more demanding, it'll downgrade a little bit.
I saw most people saying that they really prefer the performance mode.
Mm-hmm.
I think variable resolution is gonna always be preferable to variable frame rate.
Yeah. And I flip between the two just to see, but I couldn't tell the difference between the variable resolution, but I could tell the difference between the dip in frame rate.
Oh yeah. You're always gonna notice that.
Yeah.
Especially trying to chuck through some of those bosses.
Yeah, it's literally like
fluctuates between 4K and 1080.
It doesn't go all the way down to 1080. There's
1440?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's somewhere between 4K and 1440. Okay. But it never goes down to 1080.
I think for the vast majority of people on whatever display they're using, they're not going to notice that as much.
Absolutely.
Until people start really upgrading their displays, they probably won't even notice.
Yeah, I agree. Same way. So if you want my advice, definitely play this thing performance mode. Do not even give fidelity mode a second guess, because the battles are literally like pixel perfect. You need every single frame.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I love Demon Souls. If you got a PS5, I definitely now.
Can't read the messages. He said he had to go.
Oh,
so he's gonna call.
Oh, okay. Damn, I'm not getting the messages. I don't care. Not a big deal. Next up is the packing game Astrobot's Playroom.
Okay, this is all your department.
So, have you played?
I can still hear us, by the way.
Oh, okay. Have you heard of Astrobot before? Like any of the past Astrobot games? Okay, so I think the first full Astrobot game was the VR game on the PlayStation 4, which I really loved. I think it was one of the best designed VR games on PlayStation. So they're using Astrobot to really sell and show off the DualSense controller, and it really is cool. Like, I've heard people talk about it, and everyone's like, "This is dumb. It sounds really gimmicky." But when you get that controller in your hand, and it's hard to explain, so you can feel literally every footstep that Astrobot is making. Like, his walking feels very distinct between if he gets into a rocket ship and you gotta use the triggers to make the rocket ship fly, and like the rumble. I've never felt anything like it before, as far as the distinction between the different rumblings. Very cool.
Nice. I feel like that technology had a long ways to go, so it's nice seeing it like evolve.
Yeah, it's no longer just two motors.
It's like basically the same for like 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like literally.
Yeah, just the metal pieces just.
That actually just end up destroying the controller.
Yep.
It just vibrates your controller apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's not good for it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely sold on the tech from playing Astrobot. I hope more games use it to that extent, because I think it found this good. I don't think it was to the point where it was obnoxious, like you were trying to force the. Okay, no. I'll walk that back. The only place where I think it was obnoxious, so the DualSense controller has a built-in mic. So you no longer, for those people, when you're playing online games and everybody makes an excuse, I don't have a headset, I don't have a mic. The controller has a built-in mic now. So everybody should have voice chat in PS5. So in Astrobot, have any of you owned a DS or a 3DS?
I have.
Game Boy Color.
Okay, but in the DS had a built-in mic. Oh. Nice. The DS had a built-in mic, and there were a lot of games on the DS that forced you to blow into the mic to like make things make things move and like make fans spin. It's dumb. Like, as a tech person, blowing into a mic is a no-no. So you shouldn't be doing that. But there are games out there when equipment have built-in mics, they encourage you to blow into the mic. Astrobot makes the same mistake. There are things where like there are fans and propellers, and you have to blow into the mic to make the propeller go, and you look and feel like a fool.
You guys remember the Donkey Kong rhythm game with the bongos?
Yes.
I still have a pair.
Me too. So you had the left and right bongo, and then there was one for clapping.
Yes.
It's a microphone that would. Sorry for clapping. So
no.
It's a microphone that would just pick up the noise of you clapping.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, wait, that means it could pick up just any noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we also realized that you weren't penalized if you hit both at the same time when you only had to hit one. So you can play the whole game by just yelling and hitting both bongos.
Looking like an insane person.
And then you're just so you're always clapping and you're never hitting the wrong one. So you're just like, So you want to talk about looking crazy?
Kind of want to stream that now.
Play Donkey Konga.
Yes. But yeah, I would imagine you're
just sitting there screaming to a cover of Oh my god, the impression that I get by like Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, like some kids bop like 45.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But besides the forced implementation of the mic, I think Astrobot feels really good. This is probably the closest I think anybody other than Nintendo came from making a Nintendo ass platformer, if that makes sense. Like Mario, the only difference not as many differences, but the one thing that Astrobot doesn't get right that Mario gets right is the ramp up of difficulty. All Mario games, they hit this sweet spot of getting difficult at the right rate at the right time, and Astrobot's just easy
all the way through.
All the way through. I think it's like a 3, maybe 4 hour game tops. I beat it in 2 settings, and
this game is the free game, right?
yes, it's packed into the PS5. It's no disc. It's pre-downloaded onto the PS5.
Okay.
So yeah, it is worth a play. I know a lot of people aren't going to play it. Like a lot of adults aren't going to play it because of the cutesy design. But if you like platformers, if you like Mario, it's definitely, and it's free, man. Just play it.
Yeah.
You can't complain with free.
You cannot beat free. Talking about free and talking about childish art design, let's talk about the other free game. It was included with PlayStation Plus, Bug Snacks. Have you all seen that?
I didn't download it yet.
Okay.
I just saw the name.
Yeah. So, have you heard of Octodad?
Yes, but only because of a game that I just found out about today on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
There's a platform fighter called Fray something. I literally just called it Fraymaker.
Okay.
It's an indie platform fighter being released, and they got characters from different indie games that are going to be in it. So it's like indie Smash Bros.
I like when games do that.
And one of the games and characters is Octodad.
That's weird.
He's one of the base fighters.
That's such a weird deep cut.
Yeah, it looks really freaking cool. I just found out about it today. I've watched their donations go up about $15,000 today.
Mm-hmm.
Wow! So I think it's starting to like really make its rounds on Twitter.
That's cool, man.
But yeah, that's how I know who Octodad is. I learned about it today.
So Octodad is the first game made by these same developers. So Octodad it came out around the time of last gen. So it was a launch title for the PS4, and I think it was on PC. But their next project, which is out now, is Bug Snacks. They were teasing it earlier this year with these these trailers that revealed absolutely nothing other than it's got a weird theme song and it's super cutesy, and it's these animals that look like food, and when you eat them, you morph into the food. So the trailer did a very bad job of explaining what this game is, and I think that's maybe why Sony made it the PS Plus game, because I don't think people were going to buy it just because nobody knew what this game was.
Right.
But I've played about 2 hours of it. I can tell you what this game is, and that it actually is kind of fun. So, most comparably, have any of you played any Ape Escapes?
Yes, I played the first one.
Okay, so it's a lot like Ape Escape. For people who haven't played Ape Escape, it's a lot like Pokemon without the battling. So there's no fighting. So the Ape Escape comparison.
You just walk around and collect things?
Yes. So there are different monsters. They're called Bug Snacks, right? Okay. But they all have different personalities, like likes and dislikes and fears and stuff like that. So you have to scan them with your little scope thing. And that's how you find out what they are, and you have to use those facts to learn how to catch them. So basically, it's a full game of fetch quest. You bump into these people. Everybody in there looks like a Jim Henson Muppet, and you bump into them, and they give you like this quest that's always like, man, I could sure eat like this dumb bug that looks like a burger. I don't remember what they're all called. Burger bug. So catch me 2 burger bugs and feed them to me. So you gotta.
They sound like that too.
That's how they sound. Burger bug. It really is. So before I get in depth with the catching thing, so this game is genuinely funny, just like Octodad. Octodad was genuinely funny. This game has a lot of like, it's one of those games that's obviously geared towards children, but it has a lot of jokes that the parents will get. Okay. So one of the first characters you meet is like this farmer dude that has that voice, but he slowly reveals that his wife left him because he moved his farm and the farm's not being successful. So she got tired of it and like he left him and like he's sad and alone and like it's funnier the way he delivers it. I know that sounds depressing, but
oh, new job's not working out. Well, I'm out.
In the cornfield.
That's what he just wanted you to get the burger bug while he goes and like hang it. Back to not being dark. So like so the burger. So the burger bug, he wants you to get the burger bugs. You go, you scan it, you find out that traps on the burger bug don't work. He's too strong and he'll just break out the trap. But you find out that he likes ketchup. So you find ketchup and you can squirt ketchup on another burger bug. And the burger bug will bump into the other burger bug and knock that burger bug out. And that's how you catch it. Wow. Yeah, so it's all like these tiny puzzles of figuring out how to catch all these bug snacks.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right.
So yeah, if you can get out of the the art style and not really liking to play something that looks like Muppet Babies, it's actually in its core, it's a pretty fun game.
DMCA.
Oops. You were just too on point with that saying.
We gotta mute you, baby.
Lastly, let's talk about backwards compatibility. So almost every, like 99% of PS4 games are playable on the PS5, which was a big sigh of relief to a lot of people.
So I can play my Call of Duty Ghost on PlayStation 5?
If you hate yourself, I guess. So
just like having fun,
yeah. You could totally fire up the Order 1877, whatever it was called. But
right, so all the FGC tournament organizers are very happy right now.
Absolutely, you do not have to keep your PS4s if you don't want to. You don't have to be worried of like, and so where I was going at. So not only do they play better, a lot of them look better, and the reason why is for those people who have HDR compatible monitors and TVs. What the PS4 did and what the Xbox Series X still does is it only turned on HDR if the game supported it. So developers had to actually build in HDR into the game.
Right.
PS5 HDR is always on. So once you power it on, it's in HDR mode. So even games that don't have HDR support, for people who don't know what HDR is, it stands for high dynamic range. So certain monitors and TVs can display more colors on the spectrum. So brighter colors look brighter, more vibrant, and more close to what the developer's intent was for what that color looks like.
Accurate.
More accurate. Perfect. So, it kind of leads to a funny story. So I get the PS5, I get it home, I plug it up, I start installing my games, and my wife comes down and she goes, "Could you play Fall Guys?"
Shoot Larry again.
That's on my Xbox. So she comes down and she says, "Could you play a couple rounds of Fall Guys?" Because she likes watching me play that. But I'm like, I got this PS5. The first game I play, I do not want it to be Fall Guys. But we powered up Fall Guys and it looked noticeably better. And like, she's not a giant like techie or a big fan of video games, but she noticed immediately this looks better, which is insane.
Do you think it was the HDR?
I think it was absolutely the HDR.
The colors, yeah.
Yeah, because
makes a big difference. People don't realize it, but
absolutely.
If like color accuracy is, I mean, you're a designer, you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like, it makes a really big difference.
Yeah. That color accuracy and a game like Fall Guys, which is super pastel, super like bright colored, like it really looked good.
Cool.
So not only that, there are some games that, like Xbox's Smart Delivery, has what PlayStation refers to as Game Boost. So there are PS4 games that will be up converted for PS5. Like the one I played was Days Gone.
Okay.
Which was the motorcycle zombie game.
Right. They did so well.
That's actually something that a lot of the tournament organizers were concerned about, is that these games like a Street Fighter 5, like a Tekken 7, that are going to be playable on the PS5, it's like, is it only going to be a graphical change? Like that's really important, because if anything else about the game really changes, they're going to have to go get the PS5s like now.
And the loading times I should have tagged you in it. There was a gentleman that tested out I'm not sure if it was I know he had an arcade stick hooked up to his 5. I don't know if he asked, I'm not sure if there are arcade sticks out for the 5s already. And he was saying how quicker stuff loads for Street Fighter 5s.
I mean, loading is whatever. It's like, you're not loading stuff in the middle of the game.
Right.
But it is nice.
So,
I think it was Street Fighter 5, one of those screens, it's just white.
It's
just like every time it's like,
so
horrible idea.
So the game boosting is developer by developer base. So that's only if Capcom chooses to game boost Street Fighter 5 will it see those differences. So
you would hope they would, especially something like JB said.
It's only graphical.
Yeah.
Because any major changes, and then the community has to like switch over to PS5.
Yeah.
So game boosting has affected frame rate as well.
Yeah.
But again, that's up to the developer though. So like Days Gone runs now up to 60 frames per second, whereas it barely could hold a solid 30 on the PS4. Yeah. And it makes a big difference. So it makes a big difference, obviously. Ghost of Tsushima now runs at native 4K 60 on the PS5. What else? They're all PS first party games, so I don't see somebody like Capcom doing it for Street Fighter 5. They're probably going to just work on Street Fighter 6.
I don't know enough about the frame rate of that game. Like if it holds, if they all which ones hold steady at 60 the whole time, or if any of them slow down, or because if there is like a noticeable difference, like they might have to switch. That's tough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you like that?
Yeah, your dog's like going to town.
I was really hoping he would scoot. He would sit down and scoot in a little circle.
So, I mean, we get the hint, dog. That's I think we touched on everything. Final verdict. I love the PS5. I honestly think that if you can hold off, I don't think there's enough offered to go crazy. And if you haven't been able to secure a PS5 yet, don't really beat yourself up about it.
Just wait.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a vast enough difference. Miles Morales is good, but it's playable on the PS4. So is Bugsnax. The only two true next-gen exclusives right now are Demon's Souls and Astro Bot, which are good games. But I really think that, don't beat yourself up if you haven't been able to get one yet.
All right, now here we go. I'm going to put you on the spot even more.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Oh boy.
All right.
I already know where this is going.
Gaming gods came into your house right now, and they said you had to relinquish one. PlayStation 5 or an Xbox One. One of them you got to give up. You can only keep one. Which one are you giving up?
Ooh.
So, in this moment, if assuming development stopped, or is this you keep that one and everything that comes out for it in the future, or is it just only the things that come with it today?
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm gonna say let's just say right now you can only pick one for the next year. Next year you're just strictly just for limited time. Or let's just say I value you like me,
Mm-hmm.
I value your opinion, and I
Mhm.
only have enough for one. And I walk into a store,
Mhm.
and they have an Xbox Series S and a PlayStation 5, and I'm going to say, Brian said that he likes this, so I'm going to get that.
Mhm.
What am I getting?
So as far as like specs and everything, they're so close together. Like it's not like other generations where there was one clear winner on the graphics, there was one clear winner on the UI and stuff like that.
Right.
I really think they're damn near the same machine. So
Okay.
the only difference between the two would be the games that are exclusive to either one or the other. So based on that alone, I would say get the PS5 first because
Okay.
Miles Morales is a system seller. Demon Souls is a giant exclusive. And Xbox, everything right now that's on the Xbox One X is literally playable. I'm sorry, everything that's on the Series X is playable on the One. There is no Series X exclusive right now outside of, I think, actually, no, I don't think it is. I was about to say Tetris Effect Connected, but I think that's One X as well.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right.
if you had to pick one, yeah, jump in, go ahead and get that PS5 first.
Okay, but both consoles are.
They're literally neck and neck.
Okay, cool.
I'd be like, which one sells for more right now?
Ooh, there is a. I think we mentioned earlier there's a PlayStation 5 going for $32,000 on eBay. I don't.
mean, I'll take 10. You know, if you put it online for 10 instead of 32, that's fine. I'll give you a massive discount.
I don't know if it's going to sell for $32,000, but
let's check out sold listings.
But while JB looks that up, man, that's the show. Man, that's.
As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at MAP Game Tech. Patreon, help us out. Help you bring some more exclusive stuff on the website, mapgametech.com, and the podcast, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, MAP Technology, and yeah. What'd you find out, JB, before we get out
between 900 and 1200.
Not bad.
That's on eBay.
That's over 2 times your. You're making double profit.
All right, yeah, I'm definitely buying one next round. Like, no shame. Don't care. Y'all
hey
can
man,
judge me, say I'm a terrible person.
do what you got to do. I mean, if they're willing to spend the money.
Yeah.
$5.
Again, I'm just trying to help people.
Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace. Y'all be good.